What's up, interwebs? It's your realtor, Jeremy. It's Tuesday. It's time for the Tuesday market update. This one's going to be good. I love the implication of this one's going to be good like all the other ones have not been good. Whatever. This one is interesting. So let's get into it. Let's take a look at Chandler, February 2021. We do have new listings oversold, which means our actives popped up just a touch in February. And I think some of that, at least I know from looking, is that there were quite a few houses that got put on the market that were currently being leased. So landlords are choosing to sell off their houses because they've got the profit there that they feel like it's more advantageous for them to sell. But they're selling with the limitations of a tenant already being in place. So that makes houses really hard to show and in a lot of cases really hard to sell. Listing prices here, you see those are just continuing to trend right on up. I think it's a little less of a jump up than I was even anticipating, but that's good news. Still appreciating and not going totally bonkers. Absorption rate, man, I remember when we thought a month was low inventory. Now, if I ever see a month again, I'm like, oh man, we got so many houses. This is the interesting piece, and this is going to be a graph I don't usually highlight, but I'm going to highlight on every single one of these cities we take a look at today. The tan line is the sale ratio to the list price. The black line is the sale to the original list price. So sometimes you have a house come on the market, sits a little while, they reduce the price, and then it sells. So this is that comparison. What we see here, and I don't know that I've ever seen the black line above the tan line, but it did that in February, which means that there are very, very few price reductions happening. And you can see, like normally, like this scale is only 5 percentage points because usually we're talking about movements. I mean, that was the drop off for the pandemic, but usually we see movements of like 99, 99.1, 99.4. So we're usually within a percentage point or so of 100%. But then things went a little higher on the sale to list. We're getting closer, but this jumped to 101.2. So from 99 to 101.2, that is a big jump. And that is just purely showing what's going on in the market currently. Let's look at days on market. They dipped a little bit more. When we go under contract contingent or under contract backups, those still count days on market. The only way they don't count days on market is you go to pending. Really, anything under 30 days means there's a lot of stuff closing faster than 30 days. Generally, 30 days is still what most lenders are needing. I had one lender say he needed 45 days. I'm like, we're going to find another lender that can close in 30. Average sale price, $467,775, up from $395,772, an 18.5% change. Year to date, 19, but this number is going to be a little funky because we're comparing 2020 to 2021 income, March, April, May. That's going to look really weird. But days on market, average days on market, we're at 29, down from 50 this time last year. Sold listings, spread of them, bulk of them, 300 to 400, like we're used to seeing. But look how many. Look at the difference here. So 120 to basically 200. We had 16 houses sold last year. We only had 9 houses sold under 200,000 in Chandler this year. And active listings were down on active listings quite a bit. But number of houses sold, we're actually down 2. Interesting. I didn't catch that before. Here's the numbers for Gilbert. Much the same as Chandler. New listings above, sold. So we do have a little bit of an uptick in the inventory here, but not a lot. Like I said, absorption rate, under half a month, under 2 weeks. We ever have 1 month again, man, I'm gonna be excited. The sold prices continuing to trend up pretty consistently, actually. I was thinking we'd see like a ramp up here at the first of the year, but it's staying pretty consistent. But what we've got here is those lines converging. And see, in this case, like that they were really close to each other. But you can see that basically since July, most things have been selling for over asking in Gilbert, and substantially in some cases. But this, we went from 100.9, sorry, to 101.9. So a 1% change. 1% is a lot in the grand scheme of things. That's a pretty big deal. Days on market, that's pretty low. So we're seeing probably more cash sales here, or more agents using the pending versus the UCB under contract backup. 480 was the average sale price, up from 424,600, 13% change. It doesn't look quite like the same appreciation in Gilbert as Chandler from February 2020 to February 2021, but we'll keep an eye on that and see how that trend spreads out overall. Here's something interesting. Gilbert sold listings under 200,000, 1 last year, 0 this year. And also you see like the bulk of homes are split evenly between 3 and 4 and 4 and 500,000. So that is really an indication, a really strong indication of the appreciation of Gilbert as a whole. You're not finding anything under 200,000. You're finding only 17 that sold under 300,000. Let's take a look at Queen Creek. Now, a lot of people have looked at Queen Creek as being more affordable than some of the other Southeast Valley cities like Chandler and Gilbert. This is interesting. We had the convergence of all the lines here where everything was kind of running the same boat. We did have more sold than the massive drop off of new listings around Christmas time, kind of evening out a little bit. This is interesting. We had a little dip of the average sale price. So I wonder if there's not, like we had a couple more higher end houses sell this month and fewer that month. So, but generally still trending up. Average sale price, 484,169, up from 412. So about a 17.5% appreciation. Look at this. 0 houses sold for under 200,000. 7 houses sold for under 300,000. Queen Creek has caught up to Gilbert. Queen Creek is no longer really a less expensive option for somebody looking in the Southeast Valley. We might need to look someplace else. You might have to go further out like Santan Valley. You might need to look at Eastmark. But this was the piece that I found the most interesting in looking at all the numbers this week, is that Queen Creek's right there with Gilbert for home values. 7 houses sold under 300,000. Nothing under 200,000. Let's take a look at Scottsdale. I know we just looked at that last week in the luxury market update, but I want to show you guys something. So as you can see, inventory has steadily climbed down, not nearly as volatile of a looking graph there as some of the other cities. Value increasing. We're almost at 900,000 for an average sale price up in Scottsdale. We have dipped below 2 months of inventory. We're down to 1.5 months. So in Scottsdale, that's pretty shocking. Now, here's a big deal. Look how far apart these two graphs are. And this is a 6 percentage point spread. But you can see how far apart the tan and the black lines were, meaning that there was usually some kind of price reduction pretty consistently in Scottsdale. Look how close we got here. Normally we're sitting like 97, 98, so about a percentage point apart. Here, we're at about 0.5%. Days on market, fluctuating all over the place, but generally you're always gonna see it a lot higher in Scottsdale because we do have those higher end properties that will sit longer. Now, those close quicker, like when they go under contract and then they close, that's a lot shorter time because in a lot of cases, it is a cash deal. Average sale price, as I said, we're almost at 900,000, 894.79, up from 715,275, a 25% change. This is not going to make sense to a lot of you. We just mentioned that Queen Creek and Gilbert have nothing for sale under $200,000. And we see a lot of stuff under $200,000 for Scottsdale. So there are some pockets in South Scottsdale of some smaller condo, townhouse type units, some even co-ops, which if you're not familiar with what a co-op is, just quick overview is you buy ownership of a share of the overall property and then you get to live in one of the pieces. So it's a different kind of ownership. Those numbers are still included here. There is a pocket like that. South of McDowell, either side of Hayden, you'll find some of these houses for lower price point. That being said, Scottsdale had 31 houses sell for over $3 million. Welcome to Scottsdale. All right, and last, let's check out what's going on in Peoria on the west side of town. So this graph obviously looks pretty similar to the Chandler Gilbert one. We had a little anomaly there where it popped up, but if we kind of take a trend line here, pretty steady growth there. Absorption rate were just a little over half a month. Similar with the trend here, the black line, that jumped a ton. Goodness, from 99.2 to 100.7, so 1.5 percentage point jump. That is a hot, toasty market out there in Peoria, for sure. Days on market, we're sitting about 33. Average sale price, $419,628, up from $347,354, 21, almost a 21% change. West side, we got some appreciation going on. Looks like we had a handful of stuff, so still some affordable options out in Peoria for sure. 20 houses that sold under $200,000. A decent amount under between 200 and 300, so 49. About the same number of houses sold. So I don't know if you noticed, Scottsdale was a little bit higher. Queen Creek was a little bit higher. Everything else has been actually about the same number of houses as we sold last January, or last February, what closed. Anyway, that's it for this week's Tuesday Market Update. I wanted to just kind of go over some general numbers across the whole valley to kind of let you guys know what was happening, what we were seeing. I think there was some stuff we expected. I think the big shocker is Queen Creek and Gilbert are similar in affordability. You're not going to find a whole lot cheaper of a house in Queen Creek. When we do talk about affordability, I mentioned it, I think 2 weeks ago, but because the interest rates are so low, our affordability is almost at exactly the same point it was like 3 years ago. Even though house values have increased a ton, people are only paying about $23 more per month for their mortgage payment. I appreciate you guys checking out this week's Tuesday Market Update. I hope it was informative, helpful, surprising, also not surprising, because I tried to prepare you to not be surprised. But anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys next week on the Tuesday Market Update. Have an awesome week. Bye.